what is important for beginning today is a number of times we have finished college and some of us even in our career, and then we have done environmental impact assessment, and then you don't know where to start from. This is what we are going to discuss today, the process of registration and application for license. And if time allows us, maybe opportunities in environmental impact assessment and environmental audit, I think then we will just be done. And God helping us, we can schedule other meetings to discuss many other things. But just to begin with, registering or qualification for registration. The good news is that NEMA has scrapped off all the fees that were charged on registration and licenses, including license for becoming an EIA expert, both associate and lead expert, and even registering an EIA firm. So that is good news, and some of these policies, they are just transient, they are just temporary. Maybe somebody will come. Just mute yourself, please. So it is good to take advantage of this period, though it has lasted for some time now, since February 2017, following government directive, NEMA scrapped off licenses, fees charged on licenses and registration. So now you can register for free as an EIA expert and get your practicing license for free. Having said that, what do I need to become an associate expert in environmental impact assessment? For you to become an associate environmental impact assessment expert or EIA expert, you just need a bachelor's degree and then a training in environmental impact assessment and audit. A bachelor's degree and a training in environmental impact assessment and audit. This could be certificate or diploma or even a degree. For them who have done environmental science as a degree course or environment-related courses, could be environmental planning and management, could be environmental community development, and many other environment-related courses. You study this as part of the course. So when you are done with your degree course, you can apply straight away to be registered as an environmental impact assessment expert. For any other course, any other degree, you have to take a course in environmental impact assessment for you to be registered as an EIA expert. In the process of application, you attach your CV and other documentations like your certificate. If you have done environmental impact assessment as a course, you attach that certificate and your degree certificate. Those are the requirements for becoming an associate expert. Another level of expert in environmental impact assessment is what we call a lead expert. How do you become a lead expert? For a lead expert level, you need a doctorate degree or an equivalent in any field, plus training in environmental impact assessment, audit from a recognized institution. You also need 3 years experience in environmental impact assessment related activities. That is if you have a PhD. I did not mention at the level of associate expert that even at that level, when you are doing the environmental impact assessment course, it must be with a registered EIA institution. And for you to know, I know somebody is going to ask that, for you to know, you can log on to NEMA website. You will find institutions that are listed there. Most of the universities now are offering this course, and then there are also other selected colleges that are offering EIA study. You can also become a lead expert if you have master's degree and with 5 years experience. 3 things: master's degree, an environmental impact assessment course, and 5 years experience. Remember, if you have PhD, it was 3 years experience. So now, if you have master's, you need 5 years experience in EIA related activities, and you also have taken an EIA course. Again, in this case, if you have done environmental science or environment-related courses, you don't need to do EIA course again. You can also become a lead expert with a bachelor's degree and with training in EIA course and 8 years experience. So these are the possibilities of or criteria or pathways through which you can become a lead expert in environmental impact assessment. Now there is this other one that I know many people have interest in. This is called how to register an EIA firm. You know, currently in Kenya, most of transactions are done with companies, and something that maybe we will be mentioning later, opportunities in EIA, most of opportunities are looking for companies, and especially if you are in private business. So it may be important to consider registering an EIA firm. And for you to register an EIA firm, you must have a firm with a profile indicating capacity to undertake environmental impact assessment. What is the capacity to take environmental impact assessment and audit? I think the next criterion is almost answering that question. You need at least 2 registered practicing EIA experts. 2 registered practicing EIA experts. One of them must be a lead expert. That is when you can register, you qualify to register an EIA firm. Then certificate of registration of practicing certificate of registration and practicing license of the experts are supposed to be attached when you are applying for registration as an EIA firm. You also need a certificate of incorporation of your company. I think this applies in most businesses. You need a certificate of incorporation. So if you are registering an EIA firm, you need a certificate of incorporation. You need to show that you have experts in EIA, and one of the experts must be a lead expert. And it is not, we have not indicated it here. They are supposed to have current practicing license. They must have current practicing license. After registration as an EIA associate expert, EIA lead expert, and EIA firm, you go ahead to get the license to practice. We have registration and we have license. Registration, you register once, but licensing is done every year. That is, you get your license, then it is renewed every year. That is why at times we talk of current practicing license. So every year you will be renewing your license. And just to mention, if you are an associate expert, when you will be applying to become a lead expert, practicing license will be the count of year of experience. That is, if you say you have practiced for 5 years, you will be required to attach 5 practicing licenses in your application for you to get approved as a lead expert. If you are in degree, you will have to attach 8 practicing licenses as proof that you have been practicing EIA. Now, all these applications, we do them online. We apply for registration online and we get the licenses online. And when you get to NEMA website, there's what is called the licensing portal. When you get to the licensing portal, we will be able to apply for registration and apply for licensing. There you will find different types of licensing that are done by NEMA. Apart from licensing as an expert, there is many other types of licensing that NEMA gives. So you just go to the particular license that you want and you apply for it. And these days we can navigate the website, like it will lead you when you key in. What you will be required to do first is to register an account. So you will be using your account to register as an expert, also to register for license. And this applies even for other licenses that are given by NEMA. register an account, you put your details there, you have an account. You can also do this through eCitizen, and it operates the same way you do with other eCitizen platforms like driving license. When you are applying for driving license, you create an account with eCitizen, and then through that account you apply for license, for a driving license, or even for people who are buying cars and registering cars. You apply, you get an account on eCitizen, and then you are able to transact on that platform. It's the same way that you'll do when applying for NEMA registration and licensing. Now, at this point, we have talked about the registration and licensing process, and I would have given a chance for questions, but let's just discuss this about the opportunities that we have in environmental impact assessment and environmental audit. I think this is where there is a lot of frustration when we have done EIA and then you learn on the next step. But in most cases, the frustration is just because of being overambitious, or I don't know, people expecting some miracle to happen. But this, as any other profession, will require dedication, and you can never go wrong with dedication. Opportunities, I think currently Kenya has a lot of opportunities in terms of EIA. There is a lot of construction going on in the country. And in fact, Kenya now is in the right definition of a developing nation. So there is a lot of infrastructure construction that is going on. And all these projects by law, they cannot commence before EIA study is done. The country is also gearing up for manufacturing. And I think manufacturing industry will even offer more opportunities for EIA experts, because for the factories, apart from initial environmental impact assessment, it is also a requirement for them to do annual environmental audit. It is required for all projects that are listed by NEMA as projects that require EIA, but implementation or enforcement is a little bit of a challenge to enforce it in all projects. Like someone does a building, a flat, they will do initial environmental impact assessment, but when it comes to audit, they rarely do. Though it is a requirement, it is supposed to be done. So enforcing that one is still difficult, but for the factories, they do annual environmental impact assessment. Those are opportunities. So currently, there are a lot of opportunities in EIA, but we have to be dedicated and look out for these opportunities. So how do we do this? I think the first step is having the right things, that is having the right tools. Get your license, get your certificate of registration, so that when an opportunity comes your way, then you are ready for it. Many a times we complain, we don't see those opportunities, but even for the few opportunities that come your way, they find you unprepared. Then you start procrastinating, and when the next opportunity appears, you're still not prepared. So I think the first step, get prepared, have your license current every year. Actually, that license being current every year is very important, because remember I told you, when you will be applying to become a lead expert, it will count. It will count, they will check if you have been practicing. So register, then have your license current. The next thing is, like in any other field, that you have to network. And in this case, of course, is targeted networking. You target your networks, and just like any other profession, you get the opportunities coming. You can also join together sometimes, partnerships, and register firms. Like I mentioned, most of transactions in Kenya today are done through companies. Most of like government institutions and even serious private institutions, they transact or they do business with companies. So going there alone as an EIA expert, as an associate expert, or even a lead expert, sometimes you find you may not succeed in to get some businesses because of the requirement of being a company. I think it's because of procurement procedures. So you can think about it, about registering a firm, even sometimes in partnerships. I think I've tried to mention the opportunities. Questions? Any question? Any reaction?
Yes, Eric, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the nice presentation. But I have a question on the matter of registering for the license.
Yes.
You find that before you register for the license, you have to provide an EIK subscription certificate.
Yes.
And you have to pay for it, and you've talked of it being free. What do you mean by free?
Registering as an expert is free. Registering
Yes.
for license is free. EIK is a professional body. EIK is a professional body, and what you are doing when you are paying for EIK is a membership registration. So yes, it is a membership registration, but they have put that one as one of the checks that when you are applying, you are asked for EIK membership registration, just to control the profession. And that is where you get to pay. For EIK membership registration, yes, that one you have to pay. But for NEMA registration, NEMA licensing, you pay nothing.
Okay, thanks for that. Can I ask another question?
Yes, Nancy, ask.
Yeah, you see, I've always been wondering, like for me, I applied for my license January this year, but I just checked my portal, it was just approved in June. And yet the deadline is always 30th of December of every year. I don't know if you guys also experience the same, or how do you go about it so that your license is given to you as soon as possible during the start of the year?
My network got a little bit interfered with. Nancy, can you repeat the question?
Okay, I was asking, you see, like the subscription for the license is done annually. If I take my case, I applied it for it in January, but it was just approved in June, meaning I have less than a year for my practicing license to expire. So how do you go so that you receive your license on time?
Okay, we face the same issue, actually not only in EIA licensing, but many other licenses. Today, even if you lost your driving license, we do licensing even for occupational health, we do renew for workplaces, and all of them have had delays this year. I think it's because of the pandemic. So we are also experiencing the same. Personally, I think there are even some applications that I made this year, even for licenses, even for EIA certificates, and most of them have delayed. Most of them have delayed. So the delays have been there this year in several government offices, NEMA, even Directorate of Occupational Health, and even these other licensing bodies or authorities. There have been a lot of delays, but do not be discouraged. As I said, remember that license, even if you only have 3 months to practice, it will be counted this year you practice. So if you are not as an associate expert, when you will be applying to become a lead expert, it will still be important. Are you answered, Nancy?
Yeah, I'm answered, but I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other person?
Hi, Eric, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alex.
Hi, just wanted to ask a question. So I'm tuning in without any experience in environmental impact assessment. I want to ask you or anyone in the audience if there are any institutions that you would recommend for the EIA audit training. Take into account some things like the course duration, the quality, and of course the cost associated with the different courses. I was wondering if there's any institutions you guys would recommend.
Okay, I think in terms of preference, you may be the person to look for what you prefer. But in terms of good institutions, most of the institutions that are registered in terms of quality, they are the same because they all get the curriculum from NEMA. In terms of environmental impact assessment, the institutions don't develop their own curriculum. They get the curriculum from NEMA and implement that curriculum that way. So any institution that is on the NEMA list of accredited institutions or offering environmental impact assessment, they are the same in terms of quality. So others could be just like, could be in terms of fees charged. Those are the things that you may need to research on. Maybe fees charged and how they are efficient in how they are offering the program. I have heard you mentioning time, but I've not been able to compare all the colleges in terms of duration of time that people take in college. But in terms of quality, I can they directly get the curriculum from NEMA and implement it that way.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Any question, guys? I'm seeing somebody in the chat box.
So, Eric,
yes.
I was just sharing in the chat box about us organizing a follow-up meeting to emphasize more on where we can get the opportunities and also the tips to succeed as a consultant. So I've just shared one of the sites because most people look for the government tenders and from experience right now, you know that the government, I don't know whether the participants are aware that the government shares most of the tenders via the tenders.go.ke in an effort for the government to go digital, to take the services digital. So there is that, and also there is what we call the AGPO, the access to government procurement opportunities. So because I think at the moment, most of us, our concern basically was how to go about getting registered to practice as environmental and social impact assessment and audit consultants. So after this, I think we'll go straight to the opportunities. And I think this can be a follow-up meeting. So for those who are interested, I've shared the email addresses, and I think now we have your email addresses as well, and we can follow up through that and then discuss further. Yeah, and also the tips such as the networking, where to go, some of the events where at least you can get to meet some of the practicing experts in the field, and also things like how to research, where to look, pricing the work, but this is regulated, and also the matters of integrity, because this comes up often in the field, and so on and so forth. Things like marketing the services so that at least you stand out and be seen, so as to increase their chances of getting these opportunities. So this we can follow afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's perfect, Jonathan.
Yes.
It's not possible to do much within this 1 hour like today,
Yes.
But if we can have follow-up meetings, I think that can be good. We even may need to discuss the technical aspects of doing EIA so that you can do a good EIA. Many a times also you see people just do EIAs, and I have seen guys just copy pasting what people have done. Yes. And the quality of your work also will determine whether you'll get another job or not. So in the future, you may also even think of talking about the technical aspects of writing an EIA report, conducting the whole process from the field studies, making the observations, what do you go for what kind of projects, because that is another place that people make mistakes. Like you are doing a different project and you want the EIA to look like the EIA of the project that you did yesterday. So such kind of things we may be looking at them in the future if we have time. But one of the tips that I can give to starters, people who are just starting, you can volunteer. Also getting time, we will share our stories in the future. But one of the tips that I can give is get these guys who are already there. Yeah. Then just volunteer to work with them, even assist them. Sometimes you can even just go do the questionnaire administration, and from there you learn, you make your own networks, and you move on like that. But don't just sit. You can start from somewhere, even just like amtua mkono, the way people call it in Swahili. You can start from there, do those field studies for people, do those things that the big experts don't want to. You can do them, and from them you get your experiences. You know parts, the hills and plains of EIA, and you'll just find yourself liking the profession of environmental impact assessment. You just find yourself like, yes. That is just.
So that is a wise counsel, Eric. Starting from somewhere, at least for the starters or the beginners, those new in the field, getting a good company or firm to join, and then kickstart your career from there. Yeah. Any addition, Eric?
Not really.
Yes.
I think if I had to start another topic, we may take another very long time. But in addition to opportunities, I think let's think of. I really think we need to do the technical aspect of writing an EIA and conducting the EIA process. So you can look it somewhere when after we have talked about the opportunities in EIA, or even before, whichever deems better to start with.
Okay. So technical aspects of conducting an EIA, that will be another webinar session altogether. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
I think we can adjourn, or we can close.
Eric.
Yes.
Thank you very much for leading the session. At least I hope the participants have gained something from the presentation. And I just wanted to emphasize that this is our first webinar series on this. And also we plan to run more so that we lift each other up to be steady in this field of EIA. So thanks so much. And thank you everyone for attending the meeting. Thanks. Asante sana.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Asante.